Hello traders, so welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 194. You know what we're going to be doing in this one. We're going to have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what kind of opportunities we had, and most importantly, what we can expect for the upcoming week. This week was rather strange. Monday started amazing, but I talk about my pairs because I mainly trade Euro USD and US 30. So Monday was great, but unfortunately I missed a lovely trade as I was doing a one-on-one session with a member. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing. I couldn't really catch anything. We had like, do we have CPI? I would think we had CPI this week for the US. We had like very big wicks, very big consolidations. So I was definitely skipping those days. And then it was actually Friday that nailed us a very nice win to actually finish the week really strong, which is a great kind of lesson that you just have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait for your setups to come, right? But when it comes, you strike, and that is when you pretty much make your money. So again, patience is key. Of course, we're gonna jump into the video right now. If you're new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share these weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and from next month I'm gonna start posting regular educational pieces of content, trading setups, breakdown video, and a lot of other stuff. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss when a video comes out. And if you already did, let's head into the video. Alright, as always, we're gonna get started with a Dixie because the majority of the pairs we trade contain the US dollar within them. But of course, first we're gonna start by having a look at the economic calendar just very briefly and to have a look at all the major impact days. So on Monday, we have a Bank of England's monetary policy report hearings. Not sure how important, but definitely it's major impact. So you can be waiting for that hour for that report to be released, and maybe the pounds are gonna be moving. Tuesday, we have a lot of red impact news, right? So RBA meeting minutes, China, we don't trade Chinese yuan, GBP again. So GDP for the euro, very important, right? So very important on Tuesday, and then very important retail sales for the US, right? And also CPI for CAT. So this right there, this US session, 30 minutes into US session, this is usually when the news come out, very important on Tuesday, and also in the morning, very important for the euro. So Tuesday is gonna be tricky while I'm doing my Tuesday flow with the markets, because probably what I'm gonna do is gonna be completely different when the news come out. Wednesday, GDP for the JPY, so make sure you're waiting for this. A speech from Bank of England, bank holiday on Thursday, and retail sales on Friday for the cap. So we have some great news. I'm really happy that the majority of the news are on Tuesday. So when Tuesday is over, we can focus on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to catch some really, really good trades. All right. So shifting to the other screen to actually have a look at the charts. This week, you can see we had the CPI for the dollar, and we had a very nice push into the high. So if I'm going to take you back to my other screen, because something important that I forgot to mention is we had the GBP. So Bank of England raised their rates by 25 basis points. And if I have a look at the CPI inflation, so we have a 4.93 from, where is it? No, this is interest rate. Where do they show me the previous ones? So yeah, you can see actually the inflation, you can see it's starting to decrease a little bit. So we're currently right there. We're having a little bit of a dip right there. And yeah, so the previous one in March was a 4.98 and this one is 4.93. So not a very big decrease. You can see the decrease from February to March was rather big, right? This is a 1%, but right now from March to April, nothing as much. But again, what is good is that it's not increasing. Okay, but it's also not decreasing as much. So again, this is kind of a little bit of a 50-50, but we can see that it is perceived bullish because we had a massive bullish weekly close on the Dixie. So can this weekly candle dictate what the next candle is going to look like? Well, usually, right? Because if you ask a simple question, if you have right now a bullish engulfing candle like this, what are the chances that the next one is bullish? Well, I would say they are higher, okay? Because you can see, like, for example, here we had a bullish candle, continued bullish. Bullish candle, continued bullish, right? Bullish one engulfing, continued bullish, right? Bullish, continued, right? So usually you're gonna have a continuation. So I don't want to say that next week will be bullish, but potentially we can try to expect this. Right there, is this actually equal? So 820 is the low, 788. No, so we actually broke this. Yeah, we actually broke the structure to the downside. So technically this is our major lower high formation on the weekly, and we can also draw a little bit of supply. So we could be potentially traveling towards 50%, on the weekly. So we can definitely have another bullish week to tap us into 50, maybe to even take us into this weekly supply on the Dixie. So framing this a little bit of a bullish outlook. And as you can see on the daily, like the daily has been stuck within this daily supply since it tapped it on the 17th of April, and right now 25 days later we are trying to break out of it. Because you can see, as I keep telling you, right, the more a supply zone gets tested and the more it actually fails to make a commitment, then it just becomes weak. So we came in, reacted, cool, we failed to take out the low. Then I predicted that we're gonna come and take out this high as weak. We took it, we tried again, but we still failed. Then of course, respectively, this becomes weak. We got it taken, but just looking at the overall strength, right, the last two massive daily candles, I do get a feeling we might be getting a daily trend change, right? And if a daily trend change happens, then of course we can start really looking for the longs, because if the daily line is bullish, that is going to be great. I mean, yeah, the daily is not yet bullish because we have to break above this one. So if the market goes on and breaks above this one, we can expect a pullback and then potentially an expansion. So let's say Monday breaks up, Tuesday gives us the pullback, Wednesday consolidates, and then Thursday and Friday continues to push up, because you also have to think of the weekly candle and how it's going to develop. So this is pretty much how I'm thinking. I'm starting to frame a more of a bullish outlook. And then if I just jump on the FOH, I mean, the FOH was also very tricky on the Dixie, because I don't even look at the Dixie anymore because I'm only focused on the pairs that I trade. But again, this was the high and this was the low. So you can see on multiple attempts, the market tries to make a new lower low, but it failed, and then it just kind of accumulated overall right there. Then the news came out and we just blasted through the roof. So technically this right there was our trend change on the FOH, right? And then right there we have a beautiful demand, which is also our valid higher low formation. So this is how the fall time frame is looking like. So I would presume that on Monday we're not gonna have an amazing trading opportunity, because usually when the market ends with a push phase, a lot of things could happen. I mean, we can continue to push up, we can like initiate a pullback, so we can take shorts and then longs, or we can maybe just chop around a little bit. So this is how the DIX is currently staying. I do expect a break above this high, because to me it doesn't really make sense for us to hold from here. I mean, we've taken liquidity so many times, we've tried to push down so many times. So is it right now actually gonna respect? Like if we refine it all the way up, yes, it's gonna be tapping into the supply, but I do suspect it's gonna break. If it doesn't break, and if on Monday, for example, you have a lovely 50-minute trend change and it starts going down, you can of course try to look for some pullback shorts, but longer term, I do believe we're gonna be resulting in a long week. So let's see, I'm calling longs on the Dixie. Let's see how the other pairs are looking like. Looking at Euro USD on the weekly time frame, it just looks lovely. I mean, look at that beautiful engulfing candle, which we haven't had in a long time. I mean, you can see this overall push to the upside. You can see there is no imbalance, there is no strength. It's just like wicks and wicks and wicks and wicks, and then little moves and little moves, right? So there is no strength. And right now we're having this very nice engulfing candle that you can actually see, like we had 3 weeks, and then all of those, well, not really, but we're pretty much engulfing almost 4 weeks of price action. So that is really, really, really good. But yes, I mean, the weekly time frame is still bullish, similarly to the Dixie, right? The market is pulling back towards the 50% of the overall weekly leg. We're having an overall demand right there. So is it pulling back to create a higher low on the weekly in order to continue going higher? Or is it going to be reversing? Again, we don't know. But so far, the weekly is bullish. Dropping on the day, this one, where is our daily? So we had a breakup here. Then the market failed to cause a breakup there. So the higher low was right there. So we actually made a daily break on Thursday, and then just Friday just offloaded even more positions to the downside. So yeah, daily has shifted down, and currently like the daily lower high is gonna be this one according to me. So we're bearish on the daily as well, the breakup structure being right there. I mean the trend change actually. So yeah, I mean 2 massive bearish days. And then going on to the FOH, we are closing with a massive bearishness, right? So this week, 2 lovely trades. One was on Monday and one was on Friday. I missed the one on Monday, but I took the one on Friday. All right, so you can see actually on Monday we opened massive bearishness. Then we had all of this stuff happening right there to accumulate. We had a big sell, buy, and then we just continued right on Thursday, pull back on Friday, and then we just continued to massively roll to the downside. So currently just focusing on the FOH, that is our breaker structure, that is our supply zone, similar to the Dixie. You can even take a bigger zone like this if you wish. The market is at a lower low, So you cannot do much. You can be looking for the market to shift on the 50-minute, take pullback trades towards the supply, or you could be looking for a new range to create and then keep following the shorts. Or you can, of course, even continue following the shorts, but I don't think the shorts are going to go for a long time because we're going to be needing a pullback anytime soon. So daily time frame does not tell me much, but what I can presume right now is that, again, in terms of liquidity, because I've made this mistake a lot, traders are going to start marking demand zones, right? And look at all those demand zones. So what I'm going to mark, however, is, let's just see, guys. So I'm calling this out right now, is I'm going to be calling these levels as liquidity. So what I pretty much say is that I don't think these levels will hold. The market can potentially right now react, break, react, break, and then until it comes into a very hard time frame level of demand, that is when potentially it's gonna be reversing. So I would expect once again a bearish week, because if we have a look at this massive bearish week right now, I do expect for us to have another one. So for next week, I'm gonna be focusing on shorting Euro USD. Currently, I don't like the positioning. I would love to see like a little bit of a pullback and then potentially a drop. But again, I'm just going to flow with the markets and see what's going to happen. So that's EU and expecting those two targets to be fulfilled. Let's see. And just to quickly show you my only trade for the week, and maybe even to touch on, yeah, I'm not going to touch on Monday's trade because I showed it on the Tuesday outlook. It was from right there. So go and explore. This trade turned massive. I mean, if you hold this trade, I had our mentor of the community actually held it for like 15 hours, but it went massive. So pretty much this trade, 50-minute high, 50-minute low, the market came in to retest the zone on Friday, took out Asia high, everything was looking good. Took the liquidity, which was in the form of a fake trend change, then actually made the real one, threw a quick retest, so I sniped it from right there. It gave an immediate reaction, then it pulled back. I had some members actually take it from here with a much better stop loss, all right, 2.6 pips, and then the market just dropped, and yeah, I just took it at the Asian low, all right, 4 hour. I was very, very, very happy, but of course we had members holding it all the way to the low for a much better RR, and then of course, not to say it just kept dropping massively, right? So I could reflect a little bit on this trade, but again, I don't want to really kind of say, okay, I could have held this, but again, if you wait a whole week for one trade, and then again, once you have a trade like this, when the 4 hour is aligned, the 30-minute is aligned, the 15-minute is aligned, and even the 5-minute was aligned right there, then those are the trades that are really gonna run. So in this case, I felt a little bit of stupid for taking 4 hour, right? But at the same time, I keep myself accountable, because again, if I keep telling myself, if you get 3 to 4 hour, just take your profit. But right now, as the market is moving, as we're having an amazing trend this week, I mean, it started from Monday, it's been trending like crazy. This is usually the market that you actually hold and you make big progress on your account. But again, this is something that I have to work on, okay? Knowing also when to hold the trades and not just to take like a 3 to 4 hour. But again, I'm also a big believer of, if you get 3 to 4 hour, just take it, bank it, and on to the next one. All right, so that's my only trade pretty much. I'm very happy with it, and I look forward for the market continuing to move in this fashion. So hopefully we're going to finish May very, very, very strong, because the previous month was a losing one. So let's jump onto EJ. Being a massive weekly high, EJ is potentially right now initiating a little bit of a pullback, right? And if we just drop the range, there it is, 50% is right here. So we could potentially expect one more bearish week on EJ. But again, let's just keep in mind that actually both EU and EJ are bullish on the weekly. So long term, they could actually potentially continue to go up. Transferring onto the daily time frame, we're having a daily trend change, which just happened on Thursday. And this is the current daily high that caused the break. So daily is right now bearish, suggesting that, of course, the weekly time frame is entering into a pullback mode. So then, of course, you can draw a little supply. You can expect the daily. But what I'm immediately going to do is I'm just going to drop on the Forex and try to figure out what is happening on the Forex. So this, according to me, is a valid break right there. So this is, according to me, a valid lower high formation, and we have a valid supply. Not the best looking, but again, as you can see, the market came in, reacted, and right now it's retesting. So what I'm gonna say on the EJ is I have two scenarios. Either this one is gonna hold on Monday and continue to drop, or it's either gonna break this, create a 4-hourly bullish trend change. And then, of course, from here, you can either look for a 4-hourly bearish trend change, or you can just wait for a 50-minute alignment down to take a short. Because daily is really bearish. I do expect the weekly to continue bearish. So if this level doesn't hold for us to be aligned with the FOH, if the market breaks up and taps inside this daily level, I will still use it as supply and try to catch some shorts on the 50-minute. But preferably, you would also like to have a hourly alignment down. So that's it for now. That's EJ, as simple as that. I would be dropping right now to a lower time frame. And if the 50-minute potentially, like, maybe it comes into to take out this high as liquidity, or maybe like you can see here, we had a lot of liquidity, flat highs, the market took him. And if the market starts to very nicely kind of trend to the downside on the 50-minute, I will be interested for shorts, because we are still in a massive hourly supply, which is also a valid strong high right there. So let's see, bearish bias on EJ, but we have two scenarios, which let's see which one works out. Looking at Aussie dollar right now, well, it's still clearly in a consolidation, and you can see when you have a consolidation, you cannot really expect what the next candle is gonna be, because like last week we had a massive bullishness, and you might have thought, oh right, next one is gonna just continue going up. But no, we kind of came in, and you can see pretty much this was the high of the consolidation. We swept the high, and then we have a massive kind of bearish candle. It's not an engulfing candle, but it's a very strong bearish candle with a wick on top, closing massively bearish. Okay, so potentially the next target right now, being in the range, could be this low right there. So again, I would, looking at the overall frame of the market right now, I'm just seeing a bullish Dixie and bearish everything else. So you can see the daily on this one is just a nonsense, right? Break down, break up, break down, break up, boom, 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 boom. It's just a consolidation. So currently, technically, the daily has a higher low right there, and the daily is still bullish. So Aussie dollar does not look amazing because the daily is still bullish. Two massive daily candles to the downside, but the hourly time frame, you can see right there, did the manipulation. So we took out the high. And then what actually caused this high to be taken? Well, it's pretty much this low, because that's the last buy then before the sell. And then you can see it kind of tried to react from this demand. It kind of pulled back, it tried, but then it just failed. All right, so then we have pretty much a bearish trend change. This is, let me just double check. Yeah, so this one looks like it's valid. Yeah. So we have a valid break right there, which is, this is a lower high formation, and this is our hourly supply. So similarly to the other pairs, we are bearish massively right now. We made the first trend change, and you can see on the first trend change, you cannot expect a pullback. This one did not even give a 30% pullback. Here it stopped for a second there. Here we've had like a, I don't know, a 10% pullback, and then we just continue dropping lower. All of this right now is being collected, all of this. Even the last one just got taken, so this is the one we can be expecting. But yeah, Aussie dollar has taken lots of liquidity. The only question is right now, is daily going to prevail? Is daily gonna push up? But look at how, I mean, look at how where is this? We'll look at how the daily pushed up, and look at the push down. I mean, it took the market from the low to the high, like 12 days, and right now the market is almost to the downside for 2 days. So there is a lot of sellers coming in. So I'm gonna potentially say I would love to focus on the FOH right now and follow that recent momentum, which is bearish. Right now we cannot do much because it's at a lower low. You can potentially look for a 50-minute trend change, right, to align bullish, and then for us to potentially look for a pullback trade, right? So the hourly time frame can pull back to 50% and then maybe give us a short. Or you can just be waiting for more structure to form. Okay, personally, if I'm trading this pair, of course, I would like to take some pullback trades into the supply, or at least into the 50% of this overall range, and then just align bearish and start taking shorts again. Okay, so that's AU. Again, we're going to need some sort of more price action. We're going to need Monday to open to see what it's going to do. Because usually when you have pairs closing at lower lows and higher highs, it is usually tricky to trade. Okay, so let's give this one some time and catch up on Tuesday to see how it's looking like. AJ, let's have a look on the weekly. Well, also bearish candle, and again, keeping in mind that this is actually bearish on the weekly, and it's tapping massively in this weekly supply. So yeah, AJ, very good time to short. If you are like a big swing trader, well, right now we have a weekly supply, and you should be shorting it hard, right? Daily is a problem, because I mean the last daily break was here, and then technically this is the last daily higher low, which it just doesn't make sense right now because it looks absolutely bullish. But we pushed massively up, we pull back, we tried to push, we failed, and right now we're withdrawing back down. So daily time frame doesn't make a lot of sense on AJ. It's still bullish, but I don't know. I don't see it going up. It pulled back below 50, tried to push it, failed. So at least we're gonna come to take out this low. Why? Because it's weak. Why? Because it failed to take out the high, right? So if the forward time frame to me is bearish, I will definitely short this guy. Yeah, it is bearish, so we aligned right there. Bearishness. Here we had another break, and then unfortunately we had a break up. Ah, come on, man. This AJ is really screwed on all time frames. I mean, even the forward time frame is still bullish. Exactly the same as the daily. Like, it aligned right there, it massively pushed up, then it's been pushing down for quite a while, but it's still bullish. So, AJ, I would really love to see... I mean, guys, I like to trade with a FOIG. I do not always follow FOIG, but I mean, I always look to see, okay, is the forward bullish or bearish? Right now, I cannot really take a short because we're tapping into forward demand and the daily is also still bullish. So if this one gets taken, because technically right now, according to me, this is the forward down trend change down, because we're currently in a bullish market from here. So AJ, I would give it a bit more time. Okay, it's definitely tapping inside this massive weekly zone. You could have taken maybe a trade from right there. It was a massive swing trade with 100 pip stop loss, right? You already made 2R. But I personally wait for my setup, so I would require this one to break and then potentially to follow the bearishness if it's gonna sustain. So be careful with AJ because it's currently bullish, but again, if AU is gonna massively continue going down, then of course AJ is gonna follow up. So let's see how the vibe of the Aussies will be going into next week. Personally, I don't like the Aussies. I mean, Aussie dollar offers some setups on the 50-minute, but it has been really tricky the past few weeks, so I just don't look at it at all. So let's see if they actually finally start moving. So Aussie dollar bearish, Aussie JPY, give it some time. Let's have a look at the NZDs. So pretty much the same as this looks exactly the same as Aussie dollar. Like, I mean, a consolidation, we came in, we swept that massive weekly high, and then we printed a massive bearish engulfing. It's not an engulfing, but a very nice bearish candle. So having that weekly candle, does it tell us a lot? Well, I would say this is a very important candle because it swept massive liquidity on the weekly right there. And the weekly is, of course, bearish. Coming in from here, weekly alignment, and we kind of pulled back again above the 50% and swept some liquidity. So we can expect maybe for it to go down. But then again, similar to Aussie USD, again, the daily is also screwed. Why? Well, because the daily is bullish. We have this overall push, and pretty much the higher low is down there. So, but again, I look at this from the low to the high. It took the market 9 bars, and then for 2 bars, we're already like below 50%. So a lot of bearishness is coming in. So again, what I'm gonna focus on is the FOIG, and the FOIG is just the FOIG is just massively bearish. It just came in, broke the low, and then just forgot about everyone, right? So massive. So looking at NU, not tradable. The only thing you can wait for right now is like a shallow pullback, because that's the first trend change and we still haven't had a pullback. And technically, like, our high is this guy right there. So you cannot be looking for 50% pullback. Don't do this. What I would expect to happen is like a new range, small pullback, breakdown, and then potentially to continue going down. These little wicks right there are a good area. It's probably like a one hourly buy to sell. There it is, right? So that is a good area to potentially like try to look for some sells. But in a massive downtrend, in a massive lower low, you are usually not in a very good position to trade. So give it some time, wait for the pullback, and then just, of course, go with this massive bearish flow. Okay, I would in this case ignore the daily because I'm just looking at these 2 massive bearish candles. I could expect like 1 bullish candle as a pullback, and then potentially for us to continue rolling down. So let's see. I am calling shorts on NZD/USD, but we do not have a setup yet. So as I said in the intro, you can wait 5 days, but if on the 5th day you actually get the setup, that is when you strike and that is when you make your money. So be patient. I would expect NJ to also be kind of screwed. So this one broke down. Yeah, weekly break up, weekly breakdown, so breakdown and then broke up. So yeah, this one shifted bullish on the weekly, which is nonsense. But it's just consolidating as well. Tough. There is a demand right there, therefore. So if I drop to the daily is bullish, right? So this is gonna have 1,000 misalignments. So daily, yeah, weekly and daily are bullish. right? So daily, this is the zone, weekly, this is the zone, and then dropping on the 4H. 4H is probably bearish. Yeah, broke there, broke there. Yeah, beautiful trade right here. Yo, beautiful trade right there. So you can go and explore how you could have gotten in right there. Broke up on 4H, broke down on 4H, pullback. You got your 50%. For a first trend change, this was a very good pullback. And then we just massively dumped. So the last lower high on the 4H is actually here. There we have a break of structure down, and you can take this whole range as a lower high. So similar to all the other pairs, we are at a lower low. And you cannot do much. You can look for a new pullback and then look for a short trade, break of structure, and then just keep continuing following the ranges. Or you can like just jump on the 50-minute and try to follow the 50-minute. But usually the 50-minute works the best when you have some sort of a full hourly alignment and bias. Like for example, on Euro USD trade on Friday, everything was bearish. 4H was bearish, it had a little pullback, 30-minute was bearish, everything, and then it just massively goes. So in this case, full hourly is at a lower low. And usually the hourly moves from a lower high, right? It pulls back a little bit, moves, pulls back a little bit, moves, right? So don't short at lower lows and don't buy at higher highs. Wait for the pullback. So in this case, I would look for a little bit of a pullback and then potentially a continuation down. So catch up with you on Tuesday to see how it actually developed. Having a look at the USD yen, it's gonna be hard to analyze because you can see we're right now having a weekly inside bar and we're still kind of trying to pick a direction, right? For quite a few weeks, we have been drawing this supply. The weekly is bearish, it came in, it tried to react, it failed, and then it came in again, it reacted bearish, but right now we can see it's actually failing to continue down. So what is gonna happen? Well, I don't know. Next week we have GDP for the JPY. So is this gonna shake it out? I don't know. Then of course, looking at the daily is still bullish. And we have this daily, look at this expansion right there. So it kind of chopped around, manipulated below. So like this is a textbook, what I call RIM, right? Range, manipulated, initiated, came back to mitigate. And right now we can potentially continue going up. But again, like this massive weekly supply, but again also taking it down to Dixie, which has a very bullish outlook right now. Well, I guess UJ could also turn bullish anytime soon. So then of course the main determinant is gonna be the 4-hourly time frame, and as I told you like last week, this is the 4-hourly higher low, and it never violated. It came in, reacted, came in again, reacted, and it keeps forming internal structure. But what I don't like is that it's all internal. But if you don't have anything else, right, you can of course look at internal, but just be careful because internal structure is not major and it usually tends to break. Like if I demonstrate to you actually, like say that's a breakup, breakdown, then there have a couple of breaks, all of them break, then this one also breaks, then this one breaks down, then this one breaks up. So you can see there is no like a strong highs and lows to actually hold. This is the strong low right now. So I mean, looking at this massive bullishness right now, it held from the 4-hourly demand. I mean, it looks bullish to me. 15-minute right now is not in a good place. So I'm finding it really hard to draw a bias on UJ because I just don't like the 4H. Massive push up, massive push down. It looks like a V shape to me. No clear intention. So if you want to trend follow it, I mean, wait for a 4-hourly pullback at least a little bit, then wait for a 50-minute alignment up. And then of course you can continue to go higher. But I would focus on other pairs for now just because I don't understand this one. I mean, it's just been ranging inside this weekly supply. Is it gonna break it? Is it gonna hold it? I don't know. Right, daily is also bullish right now and it's been chopping for a whole week. So let's see. Right, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you actually think of UJ? Are we breaking down to the downside? Are we gonna go up? Let me know what you think. Personally, I am just neutral and I don't trade USD yen, so I'm just skipping this one and looking for some clear direction. Of course, intraday you can catch something. So if you do trade intraday on the 50-minute, then definitely do so. And of course, try to stick with the overall bias, which is currently still bullish. USD CAD once again tricks us into believing it's gonna go down, but nope. We had a very nice evening star right there. We had a very nice engulfing candle, but this week said no, boom, bullish. This is why I just don't like UCAD. I mean, I have a lot of negativity towards UCAD because it just doesn't make sense to me, right? Or maybe it's just my strategy and the way I trade. So again, what I can take away from the weekly? Well, again, the massive bullish candle, but we had a bullish candle here, we did not continue. We had a bearish candle here, we did not continue. So this one just does not listen. And of course, then dropping onto the daily, let's have a look what's happening on the daily. Well, yeah, technically the daily had a break of structure here. It had a demand right there. It pulled back into demand and it's reacting. So again, you can see the daily setup was actually pretty good. We chopped for a little bit. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we chopped. Then CPI came in, boom, we massively started to react. Could you have gotten into this trade? I don't know. Myself, no. Because to me, yeah, this really sucks. But to me, yeah, this right there is the lower high. Yeah, it could actually be this one right there. But yeah, I'm going to take this as the whole supply. So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? This is the daily zone, but that's my 4-hourly zone. Like, this whole thing is my 4-hourly range. So, I mean, you can tell me, okay, you draw structure incorrectly, sure, but that's how I draw it, right? There is no lower high right there. There is no break. This is all internal. This is my high. This is my low. And right now we're massively pulling back. But are we going to hold as the daily is actually massively pushing up? I don't know, right? So, again, guys, hopefully UCAT is working for you. It never works. It never works for me. There I see a short right there. I mean, just basing it on structure. Again, you can see here we had a range, manipulated, broke up, broke down, then broke down, then broke up, then broke up, broke down. There is a short, right? And then you take this massive short. It offers good setups from time to time, but I want to have setups that provide more often. So that's UCAT for now. Daily is bullish, 4-hourly is bearish. We're pulling back massively into a 4-hourly premium right now. What is gonna happen? I don't know. But I also don't have a 4-hourly range to trade with because it's still bearish right now. So I'm looking for some sort of a breakout. Or of course, if you wish to kind of trend follow the most recent momentum, there is a little bit of a range right there. So if you have some sort of a pullback, you can definitely go long, but just watch out for this level right there. So that's UCAT for me. If you have any insights on UCAT, let me know what you think. But to me, it's just very, very confusing. Well, like the other USD pairs, GU is also forming a very nice bearish candle. It is sitting at a massive weekly high. It also came in to take liquidity above this high and actually took it this week. And then it reversed massively. There is our weekly high low formation. So can we expect that the market makes a bearish move? Well, potentially, right? And I hope it does. Daily time frame almost aligned bearish. Yeah, here we actually had a little break. You can say that this is also an alignment, but it depends on how you look at structure. For me, I would love to see this one break in order to confirm a real daily break. And then after this breaks, that is gonna expose like all of these lows right there. Okay, so we can have massively bearish GU. So let's see how that works. 4-hourly time frame is of course bearish. Like, I mean, we had the tricky PI right there. There was a long trade right there, long, then made break up, break down, so short, then manipulated up, then it just went down. And this is pretty much the last structure break. That's our last supply. So yes, currently it's at a lower low. It's also tapping into a daily demand. So I would expect maybe a reaction and then potentially a continuation down. As simple as that. That's my setup on GU. At this massive lower low, you cannot expect much. I mean, it's either gonna just break the daily low and then initiate a pullback. If it first starts with a pullback, very good, because you can then take a short towards that daily low. But if it first breaks the daily low, then of course you can expect a pullback and you can be taking longs. So it really depends on how Monday opens. So again, stay tuned for Tuesday. GJ being a JPY pair, probably gonna be tricky. It came in and took out this massive weekly high, printed this bearish candle. This week is also bearish. Can we continue going down? Well, could be, right? This is why I also don't look too much on the weekly time frame, because it doesn't tell me a lot. Then daily, sure, it's bullish. That's daily demand zone. We have kind of a complex correction. This higher low tried to push, failed, then it becomes liquidity. Well, we took it. So then dropping onto the 4H. 4H broke up, broke down, then broke up, broke down here. Do we have something valid here? Well, yeah, we kind of do. Then yeah, valid broke up. Yeah, well, technically this is our lower high, and then this is our supply. So I mean, yeah, 4-hourly time frame is bearish and it's already in a pullback. So I mean, GJ is in a much better place than GU because it's at a lower high. So right now, what I'm going to be looking forward in the first kind of at the beginning of the week is to have a 15-minute setup, preferably first take out this high, then give us a 50-minute alignment and then go short. So I'm calling shorts on GJ. Right now, it definitely does look good. Let's see if we can have one more push into the downside on the 4H. But yeah, that is GJ. Very simple, very nice. Let's see if we can have some shorts. And of course, also GU is short bias, but GU is at a lower low. So we gotta wait for something more. Let's have a look at GOAT. So as you can see on the weekly, we're having a tricky week. It's currently an inside bar. Like last week, we massively pushed up, but we also closed with a big wick. And this week is rather indecisive, right? So we're very close to all-time highs, right? And we just rejected very close to this high, and then of course very close to the other high, right? So what is going to happen right now? Well, of course, it also depends on the Dixie. Looking at that recent bullishness on the Dixie, I mean, if that continues, then of course gold is gonna fall. But let's see, daily time frame is still bullish. We have this push, we have this pullback, we have this higher low. The market tries to push, it fails. So this is potentially where we're gonna be targeting next as a daily week low. And of course, as I told you in the previous analysis, that is a 4-hourly break. And then of course we have like a 4-hourly supply right there. The market was pulling back all week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday it came in and then came out immediately, and then we pretty much got a short. So yeah, it was kind of a pullback, and then it actually ended up bearish. So the bias was overall bearish, so we ended up bearish, which is good. But yes, right now in terms of the 4H, I mean, yeah, this is still the 4-hourly high, and this is still where we're potentially going. So I would expect the market to break down. Not a very good position to be buying. You can potentially look to sell. But sales exactly right now also don't look great. So if it took any sales this week on gold, I think it was very tricky because of all the news. I mean, yeah, here Monday, not great. Tuesday, also not amazing. Then we had the CPI. You could have been swept, like massive up, massive down. Then again here, massive down, massive up, massive down. I mean, it's really hard to catch those setups when you have like news like this. So let's see, right? Personally, if I was trading gold, I'm stepping aside because it's very tricky right now. But again, what I can just project is that we are going to be taking out this low. So if you can take any shorts towards this low, that is great. After this low is taken, I just don't know, right? I don't know, because then we're going to find our 4-hourly lower high and try to follow it. And then if the 4-hourly lower high gets broken, then of course we can maybe even try to continue with the daily and start targeting these highs right there. But again, that is very far in time and we do not know. So again, so far, 4-hourly time frame is still bearish. We're still in the same range from last week, which is why we're having like an overall inside bar. So let's see how next week is going to develop and if we're going to have some momentum on gold, because this week was rather tricky. Hopefully you gold traders survived, because we had quite a few sweeps and it was very hard to get in. So again, short bias on gold right now. Target is this low, and after this target gets taken, then of course we adapt and see what is going to happen. All right, let's have a look at some indices. Starting from US 30, we're having an overall bearish week, but it's an inside bar of the previous one, so we can of course expect a bearish breakout. Some really good sells this week on US 30, although you can see like we had this massive daily break, then we had a very nice daily pullback. But the daily candles, like since Monday, they were very strange. Like you can see indecision, then a bigger indecision. Then Thursday was nice, and then Friday's kind of bearish. But yeah, you can see that there is no strength within these candles. But yeah, this is because we had like a little bit of a tricky week. Broke up, broke down, then broke down, then broke up, then broke up again, then broke down again. So pretty much that is where we broke down this week, and then we had this 4-hourly supply. So there were shorts on Thursday right there, but we did not manage to catch them because they did not provide an entry. But then my team killed it on Friday, because then you can see we had a push, we have a pullback, and there on the 50-minute we had this, which was our valid 50-minute high, 50-minute low. The market came in. And this setup, we traded with another setup we're currently going to be adding to the community, which is trading on the 5-minute, which is more for swing traders, right? And pretty much the trade was caught by my members from here. I was outside at that time. And yeah, it went out very nicely. So we had a very strong finish on Friday. Massive EU trade and massive US 30 trade. So right now, pretty much I would expect for the market to continue going down. It just stopped did it break? No, it did not break. So I would expect this one to be taken. And then, of course, respectively, the daily low could also go. So I'm definitely bearish on US 30. But let's see, not a very good position right now because we stopped very close to the day to the low. So I mean, right now you have to have like a 15-minute setup to short it. So I mean, if it pushes up and then aligns back down, then of course that could be a great short. But again, with indices, you want to be looking to wait for London on Monday. You don't trade indices in London on Monday, right? You then wait for New York. And then of course, that's when you start striking after you have some more confidence and some more idea of what is going to be happening. But I am bearish on US30. I just going to be needing a setup. So how it's going to happen, I don't know. Preferably a pullback, and then potentially a drop, and then just continue following the flow until this daily low gets taken. So let's see if we're gonna have that bearish flow, because you can see on Nasdaq we have a bullish week, right? It's not very nicely bullish. It still kind of keeps pushing up. This Nasdaq, is it ever gonna flush? Probably not. Daily time frame makes another break right there. It gives another little pullback, continues to push up. Right now we have a little bit of a daily demand zone right there. So yeah, Nasdaq just keeps pushing up. It gives like a brief pullback and then it just expands, then break up, break down, then break up. I personally do not trade Nasdaq. US30 is much better in my opinion. I don't see why a lot of traders are just focused on Nasdaq. But yeah, there is a current demand zone. There is yeah, this one is so tricky. So I'm personally going to be taking this as the demand zone and then potentially say that this is going to be an area for longs. Although like we're very high inside this massive weekly supply, but again, as long as the forward time frame keeps going up, I keep going with it. Although like you can see the forward time frame changed down many times. Changed here, gave a short, broke down, gave a short, broke down, maybe gave a short, but then it reversed, broke up, broke down, then broke up, right? So it's tricky according to me. US30 is much better right now. So there is some sort of a bullishness on the tech stocks right now. My stock portfolio, it consists of quite some tech stocks. It's actually running really good. I don't know why, but yeah, the companies are just doing good. So we can see the overall index is also appreciating. So again, as long as we're long, well, we go long. So let's see how this level is gonna react. And S&P, I don't touch S&P right now. It's just ranging, right? I mean, yeah, weekly is bearish. I also expect this high to be taken, but it hasn't been taken so far. Daily time frame aligned bearish, so we have been inside this daily supply since, yeah, pretty much the whole week. I mean, Friday tapped, and then this whole week we just chopped inside it. Forward time frame broke up here, then we broke up here, then we broke down here, and then technically this was our lower high. Retest, and then we actually, yeah, it's actually bearish, but it's a bearish in a very kind of shitty way, but still you can manage to find maybe some trades. So S&P is bearish on the forward time frame. I'm expecting a break of this. If it didn't, yeah, it actually broke, so that's a break. Then technically this is our supply and this is our strong high. So bearish bias on S&P. Let's see if it's gonna sustain. But to me, like, US30 looks the best. It looks the most bearish. So if you're looking to trade an index, US30 is the best. So let's see how this one is gonna play out. Cryptos are showing a little bit of a pullback right now. They're violating daily levels and they're kind of giving us a little bit of a dip. So for those that are into it from the bottom, it could be a really good scaling. But for those that have not invested like me, so I didn't buy anything right there, I mean, for us, it could be a little bit late. It's never too late, of course, but I personally don't know if this one like is a real move or not. I don't understand crypto. I don't understand the cycles as well, but it definitely could be, we could be pushing up. But first of all, like, I will be looking for a nice and deep pullback, potentially even like the usual like 50% is gonna be cool. But in this case, like, we can even use like a 61.8. Why is this inversed? Yeah, I would be looking for somewhere right there inside this zone to be getting along. So let's see. I still do feel like Bitcoin can give us the deeper pullback. And yeah, when it comes to intraday trading, you can of course try to intraday trade this one. It works great with market structure as well, but it's just a bit more volatile and you gotta be a bit more careful. But like you can see this week, broke up, broke down, lower high, massive short. Broke down, pullback, lower high, massive short as well. So again, it works. I get this question asked a lot, like, do what you teach apply on indices? Yes, it applies on everything, because market structure and supply and demand is everywhere. It's just that you have to pay attention to the characteristics of the pair, because like you can see, for example, Bitcoin tends to range, tends to expand. right, then it just tends to, sometimes it forms amazing structure, but sometimes it's just very volatile. So you have to know this and you have to act accordingly. All right. So I'm gonna end it up here. There are some amazing setups coming for next week. I'm looking for an overall bullishness on the Dixie and an overall bearishness on the other pairs. Let's see how this one is gonna go. The majority of the pairs are sitting at a lower low or higher high, so we gotta wait for Monday to play out and then we're gonna strike. Keep in mind we have a lot of news on Tuesday, so hopefully we can wait for those to be out, and then of course we're gonna focus on the rest of the week. So I wish you an incredible weekend. I wish you an incredible week ahead, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and talk to you on Tuesday.